All right, and start. Okay. Welcome back. Yeah. I am currently recording way earlier than I did yesterday, so I'll probably have a lot more time. Hopefully enough to at least finish this person to a good degree. I have a couple of things that I definitely want to do beforehand, which is, first of all, I want to make this entire head smaller. I think it's too big in comparison to this one. Other thing is that I think this nose and mouth is too low, and I also want to follow a new trajectory for the face because this does not give me. I don't like it. Is the basic part of that. Yeah, so I'll see what I can do. If this goes kind of over an hour, I think I'll probably end the video because I don't know. I don't feel like a 2 hour video is a good idea that much. But yeah, so let me just start. Let's see if, okay, so I kind of want to see whether I like this more or not. Because actually, yeah, you know what? Maybe not. I'll figure that out later. The first thing that I definitely need to do is I definitely need to make this a bit shorter here. Do. Don't know. Feel like this is decent enough trajectory. Should be fine. My lines are a little bit too short and unconfident. If I take that out here. Let me think. Thinking probably something along these lines, like that. And I just need to clean this up. I don't know if I take this out. I think that works, hopefully. Now nose and mouth need to be slightly higher. Like that. And I do think that the nose shape is really not making sense that much, so I just can probably do something like this. Yeah, give or take. And then, yeah, I think that works a lot better with this. The issue is that so the hair is too big. I need to downsize that. Where is the hair? I can take that out in general. Alright, I just need to downsize it. I give or take to that extent. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, because okay, my issue is that my faces are too round. I want them to be more square, and that does not make sense. Whenever I try to think about how to explain that, but there is that kind of general vibe of the face there's a very specific general vibe of the face that I kind of want to capture, which I am very much not doing. So maybe this is gonna be a little bit better way to do that. Kind of like this, and then if I take this out, nope. Okay, how would I go about doing this? Oh, nothing inspires confidence in me. I don't like any of these. I'll let this live for now. I might change it later. I don't like these eyes. Something about them is wrong. I need to just in general put these eyes into a massive folder. No, the nose and mouth are fine. The eyes aren't. There we are. Okay, now let me think. No. Maybe if I was size them up. something like that. I think that is not worse. But if I just to maybe bring this eye a little bit closer, I think that might bring a little bit better results to this. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, give or take. I don't like the design of these eyes that much. I feel like the pupils are a little bit too terrifying, and they don't exactly inspire that good of a feeling in me. But whatever, I'll live with it. I'll let it live. Let it exist. I think these are too high up in the forehead, but that's fine. I don't want to touch it anymore. So yeah, all right. Now then, it's time for the muscles. First off, we got the neck muscles. Yeah. So I've basically today basically was the first day I seriously started learning Czech, right? Because I am going there for college, and what's it called? I realized that I have a very hard time learning a language specific. Things on one hand, there's nothing about the language that I don't understand. There's literally nothing. I fully, whenever all the words, all the vocabulary words are given to me in in isolation, I fully understand all of them. I have zero issues with that, right? But because I speak Russian, it is very hard for me to not be confused, at least at the language, because it is so, how should I say it? I want to say this in not, I mean, it's just so, I don't even know how to explain it. It's so weird in the sense that on one hand I know a lot of the elements of it, but on the other hand, it makes no sense. So, okay, one of the things about the Czech language, right, is that they don't use the Cyrillic alphabet, they use the Latin alphabet, Latin being just A, B, C, D, right, the English alphabet, right? In Russian and in most Slavic languages, you're going to see a slightly different alphabet called the Cyrillic alphabet. And that is just if you ever look at how Russian is written, that's the alphabet, right? And so basically, right, there is this letter called zhe in, well, both languages, right? And the thing is, in Czech, it is written as basically an R, but with a thingy over it, and that's a zhe, which is makes no sense to me, because the thing is, first of all, zhe is that in Cyrillic, right? I know it looks like an M because I'm drawing it badly, but think of this as connected, right? That's what I see as a zhe, and I'm so entirely confused as to why they made an R, but basically they called it a soft R for some reason, and I don't understand, because the sign over the R means a soft sound, which is just an entirely foreign concept to me. What in the world do you mean soft R? Things I know, hard and soft sounds, they exist in, to my knowledge, most Slavic languages, right? But why is zhe a soft sound? There's nothing soft about it. It's what? And so I basically was confused about that for a while. And then there was a ton of words that I that I understood based off of vibes alone. For example, hold on, I need to make sure I spell this right. Google Translate. Wait. Wait. Look it in. Hold on, it's not working. Um. Hold on. All right, never mind. Google Translate is rebelling against me. I can't explain it. Um, but like basically, goodbye in Russian is "до свидания," right? Which literally is like until I see you again, right? Is what that kind of like directly translates to. Um, and in Czech, they have a similar phrase, which I don't entirely remember. All I do remember about it is that like it sounds the same, except for like a few like slightly different sounds. But like overall, it's like the same. Like like all the syllables of the phrase for goodbye in Czech are the same as the svidanya. And it's like, like it really confused me when I like first like understood that. Like, oh wait, hold on, what? um, so like the thing is, I wouldn't say like I am like any good at the language, but it's like I can understand on a vibes level. It's just really weird to me that I can, because that's just like I've never seen like things. I also have done French for 5 years because I went to an American high school, and like what's it called? Like I did not understand French at nearly the same in not intuitional, or is it intuition, right? Like at nearly the same like intuitional level. Like I like actually struggled understanding French. I was like, what does this mean, right? I never got the vibes of French at all because it just never made sense. So like this is a really very much a first for me when learning a language, and it's just like, oh my goodness, that just makes sense on a spiritual level. uh, like I can associate it with a different language that has not. Well, I mean, okay, look, they're both Slavic languages, obviously, right? That's gonna connect them in some ways, right? But thing is, they are still very different languages. Like if you put me in the Czech Republic, I would not understand a single person unless I actually learned the language beforehand, right? Same thing with Polish, by the way. Like thing is, Polish to me like sounds the way that Russian sounds to someone who doesn't speak the language. Like everything about its intonation, its like tempo, right? The way that people speak, right? Everything is the exact same as Russian, but none of the words make sense. Like it's just complete nonsense, but like with the like very but like with basically the exact same manner of speaking, right? Um and I do find that really funny. And it is actually to the point where like whenever I hear someone with a Polish accent, it's like literally the same as Russian accent, because things whilst languages are different, like the all of the intonations and all of the like kind of underlying assumptions about how to speak are the same, and it's very funny because of that. Like it does not help me in learning the language itself, because learning the language requires you to understand grammar and you need to know vocabulary, all that, but purely on like when it comes to like accents, for example, like how when you are learning a language um, that is not your first, you're very likely to have an accent, right? And the thing is, I feel like if I was to learn Polish, or like in this case Czech, I feel like I could very like, as long as I learn the language and as long as I like study the actual um, like waves, like the actual like phrases and all that, I feel like I could probably speak with very little, if any, accent at all. And I mean, I just think it's really funny. Like I've never experienced that before, and I've like tried learning other languages before. Um, yeah, but on the other hand, it does make me like really. How should I say this? It's basically there's a lot of things in um, okay, so I don't understand. So Slavic words, right? They're not as rigid or concrete as words in Romance languages, right? Like there's a bunch of things that you can do with them that sort of kind of change their meaning, and like you can still like even if they're not real words, you can still sort of kind of understand what it means, right? Um, I don't know exactly how to explain it, but because of that, there's a bunch of words in specifically the Czech language that I'm like I know exactly what it means, but it sounds really funny to me because like I've never thought of using words in that way. For example, the French, the Czech word for plane is letadlo, and like on a fundamental level, I know exactly what that means. It is something that flies, right? Uh, because there's the root word litet, right, which is to fly, and then like the suffix lo, right, it can be interpreted as like something that, right? So in this case, something that flies, and it's just actually very. Oh, these eyes are massive. Oh no, I'll fix that in a bit. Um, oh my goodness, I have the entire torso done in 16 minutes. Nice. All right. Um. Okay. Yeah. That's correct. That was supposed to be. That's an organization thing. Um. What was I saying? Yeah. So like, there's like words that I can like kind of intuit because of this, but like it sounds insanely funny to me because like that suffix has very different connotations in Russian, and the thing is, I sort of know Ukrainian because my mother is like half Ukrainian. She spent like basically half her childhood in Ukraine, and like her mother is Ukrainian. So I sort of know the language. Not, I've never like particularly studied it because I live in America. Why would I study a language that I neither speak at home nor um, what's it called, nor kind of like need to speak outside, right? Um, the only reason why I even know any of it is because basically I watched a bunch of Ukrainian comedy shows at one point. I got really into them. Um, and then yeah, so uh, what's it called? Yeah, so like I sort of know Ukrainian to like a little bit. Like I can understand it is the thing, right? Like if it's spoken like slowly and like clearly, um, then I can understand it. I can't necessarily speak it because there's a bunch of things that like whilst I would be able to intuit them in the same way that I intuit something like Tatla, I don't really know what exact things are changed and like what exact words are changed because like there's a lot of there's a lot of like similar words between Russian and Ukrainian, but like they're not exact, and there's a lot of Polish words in Ukrainian. So I don't know which ones are, which ones aren't. But like for the most part, I can sort of understand what's being said. Um, do do do. But yeah. Yeah, but see, things like Ukrainian's like a similar enough language where like I don't really like when I kind of like heard it, I didn't really feel the same revelation as I do with Czech. Cause like, see, thing is, Czech is a completely different language with like very little relevance to Russian, right? Whereas Ukrainian has a lot of Russian influence that like I can easily use to understand the general idea of what's being said. Um, do 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 do. Dude, this is being done on the correct layer, right? Okay, good. I'd have been really mad. But yeah, so there is that. Do. Something like this, perhaps? And then I guess it would be nah. Something like that. And then perhaps. And then if I quickly just where is the anatomy bit? Yeah, you know, I realize that I mostly probably draw anatomy for fun at this point. I don't like, I did not need to do that for this, I don't think. There's just kind of a force of habit thing, which isn't a bad habit to have, but it's like, it's kind of, it does waste time that I really probably shouldn't be wasting necessarily. Ooh, that's a problem. Oh no. This is on the same layer as the hair. That's an issue. That shouldn't be, that should be there. Yeah. I can live with just that. I don't actually need the bones. Bones are mostly there just for me to see where stuff is, where stuff is supposed to be, like where the muscles are supposed to be. They don't really define any forms themselves. Unless you're drawing a very, very skinny person, in which case they might. But that's not exactly what I'm drawing. Like, you know, unless you're drawing like a malnourished type person, like that's not like unhealthily skinny. Not. There is limits to how you want to draw people. Because most people, fun fact, have barely any, if at all, bones showing, right? And for people that seem like they have bones showing, you have to understand there's like layers of muscle on top of that are just thin enough to show bones. Like it's not, like, so the bones aren't actually as pronounced as you would expect them to be if the bones were, what's it called? If the bones were like actually, like it was basically, if it was someone who's like just skin and bones, you wouldn't see things to be a whole lot thinner than you actually see on person that's like, you know, not having the particularly most healthy time of their lives. But yeah, I don't know if I like this. I don't think I like this. I think this kind of gives off the wrong impression. So I'm just gonna take this. I think this is fine. Okay. Alright, and I don't like this bit, so I'm just gonna do. Yeah, should be fine. Yeah, see the things, this wrinkle here is what's kind of throwing things off. It's giving a little bit incorrect idea of what this form actually looks like. I think that's better. I think this might be a little bit better though. It's fine. Yeah, I think these eyes need to be smaller. This person looks oddly feminine for no reason. And I can't tell exactly why. I'm sure it's fine. Alright, I need to make a new folder inside of this folder for just the no, for just these bits. No, what? Oh no, what layer is that on? What layer are you on? Why are you on this layer? Do you matter that much? Okay. I'm sure it'll be fine. Wait, if I take this off, how obvious is it? sort of as obvious. I'm just going to quickly make this a little bit more transparent just so that I can trace over this bit here. Perfect, incredible. And now I need to get this thing back to 100% opacity. And now I need to erase this bit. And now I can take this and I can scale it. And okay, hold on. Actually, I need to separate them. I can't scale them like that. Do slightly smaller. Oh, okay, I think that looks a whole lot better. Do slightly smaller. I think that's definitely gonna improve things. I don't know if this. I mean, it's a good enough space. I don't know. I think it's within a margin of error. It's fine. I think this hair is not exactly correct. I think this hair is kind of a little bit too long, I think. Yeah, and then this neck is also a little bit off center. I think. Yeah, I think this jaw is too far back. Like this head is too far back, so then you bring it forward. So if I take every bit of the hair into one folder, like this, that can go in there too, I don't mind. This layer does nothing, that can go in there too. This layer also does nothing, that can go in there too. That layer doesn't go in there, this layer definitely goes in there. What do we have? Okay, we have the entire face. Now we just need the hair. No, wrong one. Yes, perfect. And now, that's the entire head. Perfect. All right. And now what we do is we take this and we just bring it forward ever so slightly. Yep. And now, not quite that much. I think that's enough. That should be enough. Yeah. And now what we do is we take this bit of the neck and we erase it. And then we take this bit of the shirt and we also erase it. Perfect, incredible. Alright, and now I need to add in the details. Alright, I need to add them in kind of like this. No. No. Good enough. And then, by the way, all of this we qualify like that. And now I take a fill tool and I just go 40% opacity. I think that works. And just do. And do. And I just go do. And I go do. And then I cry for a little bit as I try to figure out why that did not fill properly. Should be fine. Please work. It was like 41, right? Ну что с тобой не так? Ну что тут такое за фигня? Why doesn't it work at all? Work at all? Work at all? Why doesn't it work at all? I am very mad about it. Let me think. Give me a second. It could be because of there's literally no reason for it to not work. Why is it like this? Why is this a problem? I don't understand. They're like is maybe this line too thin? But I mean, like, this line is just that is actually a problem. That is definitely a problem. But that'll solve later. Maybe. If I get to it. If I remember to. I might not. But it's fine. These lines are so messy. I need to draw more confidently. Also, I don't like how these people look in general. I feel like I might need to rethink about how I draw after this panel. Alright, no, but like seriously, what is the issue? I don't understand. Finally! Okay, why did that work? What did I do that was different this time? Literally nothing. I barely painted over any of this. Why does that... Huh? I mean, I guess it's nice, but like, why? Okay, the answer is that Studio Clip just decided to mess with me for a little bit. That's fine. Alright, I'm not mad. As long as it delivers results eventually, I'm sure it's fine. Nothing wrong with it. Perfect. Incredible. Now on to the shading bit. Oh no, ear. Ear. Almost forgot the ear. Oh no. And then what I do is I take this and I oh yeah. By the way, another interesting thing that I kind of like know about, and I'm kind of genuinely curious, right, is are there any other places that practice what's it called? Tempering, I think, is what. Oh, I don't like how that looks. Why do I not like how that looks? I don't like how that looks because... Oh, this doesn't go all the way. That's why. Okay, yeah. I see now. It's supposed to go kind of like that. At absolute most, and then everything else is kind of structured around that. Kind of like this. And then this bit should be gone. But yeah, so anyways, if you don't know what the practice of tempering is, it's basically, so, okay, this is the way that it's been explained to me. I don't know how factual anything about this is. I'm gonna be completely honest, right? So like, and by no means is this medical advice, because I am not a doctor and I've never asked a doctor about this. So, you know, if you are a doctor and this is bad, please do correct me. But basically, right, it's kind of this practice of taking... okay, so first I'll explain, right, a couple things, right? So what's been explained to me is when you get stuff like the cold and other common viruses like that, one of the big reasons why you get them, right, is because your immune system is temporarily weakened when you switch from a hot environment to, like a warm environment, to a cold one, right? Like for example, you go from your house to the cold outside, which is why, for example, we associate the cold with the cold, because you know when you go outside into the cold, you can get it, right? But the actual, well, like what's been explained to me is that the actual reason as to why people get the cold is because their body can't handle rapid changes in temperature. It's fine. I don't like it, but it's fine. And basically, when your body does experience those temperature differences, right, it temporarily weakens your immune system while your body gets used to the new environment. And while it's doing that, sorry, like, well, yeah, while it's getting used to the environment, it weakens the immune system, right? And the result of that is, I don't like how long this hair is. The result of that is that, what's it called? I don't like how this face looks either. I think it's not. I think it looks too childlike. I don't like that. But whatever. I don't know how to fix it just yet, so I'll leave it. But I'll probably try and study a little bit more for future panels just to make sure that I get this a little bit better. This hair is too high up. Okay. But yeah, basically, like, your immune system gets weakened temporarily whilst you're, like, getting used to the new temperature, right? And basically, while that's happening, your body is very vulnerable to various viruses trying to get in, like the cold. And the way that, like, basically, I've been taught to deal with that is this thing called tempering, right? Which is basically what it is you're throwing cold and warm water over yourself in a bucket. Basically in like quick succession. So that like after you, like, for example, like take a bath or something, or take a shower. And basically that. This hair looks too flat. It's supposed to be a lot messier. But yeah, basically, like, when you take, so you, like, basically throw buckets of, like, cold and warm water over yourself to, like, basically make your body adapt quicker to different environments, and that kind of, like, improves your immune system. I have never heard of anyone doing this outside of my own family. So maybe this is, like, I mean, actually, no, I've heard it being done in Russia mostly. I've, like, in like post-Soviet states especially. I don't know if that's particularly common outside of that region. I mean, I don't know if there's any actual, like, medical things backing that up. I'm kind of curious if there are. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. And so basically, I've started trying to do that again. So, okay, apparently, I've had a really weak immune system when I was a child, and, like, my dad decided to do that to me and my sister to kind of give us better immune systems so that we don't get sick all the time and we actually, like, go to school and stuff. And what happened was, yeah, apparently we got better immune systems. I don't know. That's, like, kind of his anecdotal evidence for this thing. Yeah, basically, I've tried to do it again, just, like, to see if maybe it works. But it's genuinely just insanely terrifying to, like, take a bucket of cold water and just, like, pour it over yourself. Because, like, basically, there was an entire ice bucket challenge, right? That, whilst definitely harder than just cold water, right? Is kind of that principle of, like, it's kind of terrifying to just throw a bucket of water over yourself, especially if you know that the water is unpleasant. So yeah, there's that. But it's not that bad. Like, it's a lot scarier than it is actually harmful. Or not harmful, like, I don't know if it's harmful, it could be. Depending on the person, perhaps. But, like, it's a lot scarier than it is, like, uncomfortable, I think is the better way to put it. Something like this, and then hair needs to be messy. I don't like how this messy hair looks. Doop, 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 doop. Yeah. So, I've been trying to do that. And yeah, it's just not as fun as I thought it'd be. It's genuinely terrifying, but I mean, it's not bad. Like, I live afterwards. I'm obviously not dead from doing it. But yeah. The interesting is that, like, it's a very, like, simple thing, and, like, to me, the explanation for it makes sense. But, like, I genuinely don't know if this is, like, practiced anywhere else in the world. It's like, I feel like there must be some places, right? Like, there's no way this is just like a post-Soviet thing. I'd be insanely surprised if that's the case. I don't know if I like that. I might delete that. It's fine, whatever. But yeah. Ooh, this is very messy. I don't like that. I'm gonna fix that in a bit. I have way too many messy lines here. Like messy lines are fine for the hair, for example, because like hair is a little bit messy. But like when it comes to like stuff like this, I kind of want them to be like, they don't have to be perfect, but I want them to be cleaner than what I currently have at the moment. So where is it? Huh? Oh, I see. I see what the problem is. There it is. Okay, finally. But yeah. See. So yeah, this is probably like the last panel of this chapter that I'm probably going to post, because the next panel is very just boring wall of text. It's literally all it is. It's an exposition dump. Like there's literally nothing for me to draw there. So I wonder. So like until I figure out the new chapter, this neck is so thin, this head's so large. Whatever, it's fine. I'll probably just be like practicing various different things, without any kind of coherent theme to any of the drawings for a while, just trying to talk about something. Because like the important thing for me is that I have to draw every day, right? Like I have to draw every day for, a certain amount of time, just to make sure that I never get into any kind of like stump, I feel like. Okay, because like the thing is, it's easy to get into a stump when obviously you draw too much. There is that, but the thing is, I'm immune to, as long as I have some sort of comic thingy that I'm doing, right? I am immune to not knowing what to draw because I already have that planned, right? But I'm gonna probably fall into that stump in a second once I finish this panel, because there's literally nothing else for me to draw after this. Like I'm done. I basically just had to add words and then post it and then figure out how to do that. Yeah. Oh wait, actually no, I have to do a bunch of corrections on the other ones. Is actually what I have to do first, because basically a lot of these earlier panels suck, because as you can see, none of them are colored in. There's nothing that's like particularly well made about them, right? I have to genuinely like do a ton of corrections and like kind of trace over a lot of them, because a lot of them are done with the pencil tool, because I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do basic sketches at first and then I'll go back and then redo all of the panels with like better with like the pen tool, and then like make them more official and fun and all that. But like I decided I didn't like that system about halfway through, and it's been a problem ever since. I shouldn't be doing this on this layer. This is a horrible idea. Why am I like this? It sucks. It's terrible. I should not be doing this on this layer. I need to switch layers, but I don't want to because it's too much work. Okay, and then I will just kind of do random patches of stuff here as well. And I just hope that it kind of sort of makes sense, because I don't know enough about clothing to like really be particularly precise about any of how I'm shading any of this. I'm basically doing this mostly at random. Give or take. Something like that. I think that's fine. I don't like these eyes. Bother me, and I don't like... I think this face is too round, and I don't like that. It needs to be more square. But it's fine. Everything is fine. Nothing is the problem here. Everything is all good. I am just being too pessimistic. At least that's what I want to think, because otherwise the other option is that I need to redo a bunch of stuff, and I don't want to do that because I'm lazy. So yeah, I'm just gonna stick with the it's fine narrative for now. I'll live with it. I'll live with it. Yeah, you know what? It's fine. 47 minutes. That's all it took me? Wow. Surprising. Alright. I guess that's about it. I don't really have anything else to do. I need to just... This is just expo dump, and then I need to just... that's a very quick and easy thing. So I'll probably not do that now. Yeah, I don't love this, but it's what I have, so I'll live with it. But overall, I definitely think that like once I'm done with this first chapter, I'm going to spend a couple of videos just purely practicing drawing people the way that I want, because this isn't exactly the ideal this isn't the ideal way of drawing that I kind of envisioned for all this. So yeah, thank you for watching. Oh, this looks so much worse the more I look at it. I don't like it. I think that is the head too small now. I think it might be. Yeah, I might change it later before I post it or something. But yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.